Perfect.
I'll turn it over to Charity.
Hi, all. Thank you for joining today. My name is Charity Dodd, and I am joining you all from Ohio. So I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, if anybody's familiar with that. It is in the evening, and I'm super excited to present about this because I am passionate about all of this. I'm a previous school counselor, writing content for Link around SEL. I work with Link. So Link is a company where we provide an organization where we provide professional development for educators around blended learning, using technology, and most recently, as the need has arisen, is for social and emotional learning. So welcome to you all here. It's exciting to see how many people are here. Thank you all for attending. I'm going to share my screen. All right, I'm going to move this over here. And what I have for you all right now before we get started, and you all can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. This is a note catcher. So I'm going to share this with you. What I've included here, as you can see down here, I've included links to any of the resources that I'm sharing with you today that you can use in your classroom. And what they'll do is come up as use template. So if you just click on use template, you can actually use this and type in it, and it can be all yours. And so that's how our resources are set up. I'm going to put this in the chat for you all. All right. There we go. Okay. So again, this is just a place to keep notes, ask any questions, whatever you feel. And then with Link, with the organization that I work for, we are able to provide through this workshop credits. If you do the survey, you get CEUs. So I included a link in that for that as well.
Excuse me, we don't have access to the link you gave us.
Oh, the note catcher?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me go in and change this. Thank you for letting me know that. Just when you think you have everything covered, right?
Yep.
If you use Google and you want to create a preview of something or a template, you just erase the edit and do template/preview. Now let me put this in here again for you all. Let's try this again. Let me know if you can access it. Yay, no. Some people are saying it's working, some people say it's not. Yes, no, yes, no. Okay.
It's working.
It's working, okay. Yeah, you might have to refresh.
It seems like the first link you sent us now works, but the second link you sent doesn't.
Okay. Let me try this again. I'm so sorry. I promise.
Instead of putting the word edit, if you would put the word copy, then it would just allow us to do a forced copy.
Working now, just refresh. Okay. All right, perfect. All right. Sorry, y'all. Let's get started with this. All right. Developing student self-management. So today we're going to discuss strategies that can help students develop the skills necessary to manage their emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in productive ways, and then learn some strategies that you can implement tomorrow or next week or after Thanksgiving break for your students. And like I said, I've included templates to a lot of the resources that we're going to be using today. All right. So who am I? I've been an educator for over, I was an educator for over 17 years. I was a high school teacher. I was a school counselor for all levels of school, director of a 21st century program for after school for our most underserved students in a very small rural area, getting them all the resources they needed and helping them graduate. Certified SEL and wellness facilitator. And what really qualifies me is I'm a mother of 3 daughters. So that's what really qualifies me speaking about social and emotional learning. Raise your hand if you have daughters. I don't know about sons, but I know my daughters have really just challenged me. They're older now, they're my best friends, but it was a struggle. All right, so now what I want to do is let's get into what self-management is about. So I was doing a session a week or so ago, and I saw this image, and I was doing self-management. So I flew into the place, and so I said, this is a picture of me. And really, it's not a picture of me. But I almost felt like I want to do that. My flight was delayed, and I was, okay, that's fine. It's delayed. I won't have to sit in the airport that long. We're getting ready to board. You think you're safe when you're getting ready to board. Nope. They brought people back off the plane. My flight was delayed even further. I was going to miss my connecting flight. My chest starts getting tight. I start getting butterflies in my stomach. I needed to get here because I needed to deliver some workshops. I was getting stressed, and I was like, okay, don't be that person. Like I was like, I'm getting ready to go present on social and emotional learning. Use your self-management skills. And I was thinking, what's going to happen if I go off on this person? I'm going to be embarrassed. I'm going to regret it later, right? So I just stopped, and I was breathing and thinking, okay, just let's not do this. So that's where we want our students to be, right? We want our students to be able to develop these skills where we can keep them in school, we can keep them moving forward, right? So I just thought that was kind of fun to show. So what is self-management? And I'm going to try to answer the questions in the chat as they come up, if there's any questions. All right. I love that about the girls. So I'm going to do some strategies throughout this session that you can actually use with your students. So this first one is called a peaceful place. And again, I am a certified social and emotional learning and wellness facilitator. So I want to practice this with you. And if you want to, you can turn your cameras off. I love how you all have your cameras on, but you feel free to turn your cameras off. We're going to do a little bit of somewhat of a meditation, but I want you to be fully engaged. So whatever that means for you. So get as comfortable as you can in your seated position. Really just, rest your arms, rest your legs, extend your legs, just get comfortable. And just begin to connect with your breath. Inhale, I breathe in. Exhale, I breathe out. Just really if you have to, put one hand on your belly, one on your heart, and just really connect with your breath. Notice how your body changes with an inhale and each exhale. And you may close your eyes, you may keep them open, you may turn off your camera. As you continue to relax and deepen your breath, I want you to begin to imagine your peaceful place. A beautiful, present, safe place that was created just for you. You're the only person in the world who can decide what is in it, and its only purpose is to help you relax and feel happy. Visualize yourself walking into your peaceful place. Where is it? What does it look like inside your peaceful place? What are you doing in there? What are the sounds that you hear? Notice all of the wonderful things about your safe, peaceful place. Now notice how being in this peaceful place is making you feel right now. Where can you feel these emotions in your body? Okay, let's take 3 collective breaths together to soak in all of that good energy we've gotten from being in our safe, peaceful place, to carry it on with us for the rest of the day. So take a deep breath in and out. Another breath in and out. And the deepest breath of the day, bring it in and hold it at the top. Hold it, and just give a really big sigh out. Now, silently thank your peaceful place for helping you relax and feel better, and say goodbye for now. Know that this calming space is always here for you to return to when you need it. So, anytime we do any of these activities, we want to do a reflection. So how did you feel in your peaceful place? You can just throw it in the chat. Relaxed, calm. I love it. Safe. When would be a good time to return back to your peaceful place? Anytime is a good time. Yes, Veronica. Sometimes we might have to come back to our peaceful place if we're feeling stressed, right? Or if we're feeling like we're getting ready to go into a situation that might be stressful. Period. I love that. Don't worry. That's awesome. As soon as possible. Yes. So do you think your students might benefit from something like this? This might be something that you do as a recording that they can go back and listen to. Or that there's maybe a safe space in your classroom where they can go and just take their computer or whatever they have and listen to this. Or listen to a meditation of some sort. Just anything to help them regulate their emotions. Yes, model this every day. I do, we do. And I tell you what, I did a yoga session with some high school students this morning, and I had about 50 kids in there, and they all came up to me afterwards and said, thank you. This was so calming. I love this. Even one student asked me to come to her school and do these classes. If you don't think our high school students need this, they do, and they want it. So I think our elementary kids love this kind of stuff, but sometimes we think our high school kids would not like this. So just wanted to have you take part in that. Thank you all for participating. You're wonderful. All right, so what is self-management? managing one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in different situations, and to achieve goals and aspirations. So it's not just about managing our emotions. So there's a lot of things going around about what SEL is and what it isn't, right? So what it isn't, it is not therapy, okay? It is not trying to put onto another person what our political views is. It is a way of being, and it is a way to develop skills that we all need and our students are going to need for the rest of their lives. So it's in school, it's about helping our students get through hurdles so they can reach their goals and aspirations, and whatever that might be. So let's talk about the importance of self-management. So academically, it allows students to follow through on plans to complete assignments, study for tests, stay focused in class. How many of our students do we have that are, have a lot of things going on that they just can't stay focused, right? So if we can give them some tools, it'll help them stay focused. And I'm going to share some research with you around what the findings are around social and emotional learning. Non-academic, have stronger relationships, greater well-being, higher self-esteem, less risky behavior. Okay, let's talk about the why. So this is some research that I'm going to share with you from CASEL, which is the Collaborative for Academic and Social and Emotional Learning. So CASEL, if you don't know who they are, they're the big organization around social and emotional learning. So 70% of our students who do drop out of school do so not because they can't do the work or they don't have the ability. They do so because they lack the social and emotional skills to navigate those challenges. And so I think that is just so alarming, right? As a school counselor, I know some of my kids who struggled through school didn't do so because they didn't have the ability. It's because they had other things going on. They didn't know how to navigate those challenges. So I'm going to share more research with you. From March 2020 to February 2021, there was an alarming increase in mental health emergency room visits with children. 5 to 11-year-olds, there was an increase of 21% on top of what was already happening with mental health. So this is 5-year-old to 11-year-olds, increase of 24% going into the ER, an increase of 31% for 12 to 17-year-olds. So that was a total of 45% total increase. They're not going to the emergency room for minor mental health reasons. It's probably because of suicidal ideation. In the US alone, over 200,000 children under the age of 18 lost a parent or other in-home caregiver to COVID. So what are the consequences of that? Traumatic grief, displacement, abuse, possibly, which all leads to poor educational outcomes, right? Has anyone ever watched Katrina Babies? It's on Netflix. Katrina Babies is it's a documentary that goes through and talks with students, or not students, with children who were younger during Hurricane Katrina, and really about the challenges that they face and the displacement. They had a lot of displacement and, going to new schools and all of the things that they saw that I had no idea, they saw alarming things. And it was really that, one thing that I discovered, or that came out for me, was that no one really asked them how they were doing. And that's not to blame anyone. Those people were going through some things and saw some things themselves, just like us during the pandemic. We've all had loss. And so it's really good to see. So I encourage you to watch that. Speaking of Katrina, I wanted to share this because even though we think the pandemic is coming to an end, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I think this is really important. So before Katrina, there was 4.2% of emotional disturbance with those youth. 18 to 27 months after, there was 15%. And even 3 years after, there was almost triple the amount of students still going through this emotional disturbance. So that's, we want to keep that in mind, that, some of the things our students are going through, it's not going to get better. And really what I want to share is that if we don't address our students' social and emotional learning, they're not going to be able to come to school and strive and thrive socially or academically. I'm going to pause just to see. Oh, yeah. Yep. So what are the benefits? So I hope I didn't depress you all. I did this a couple of weeks ago, and this lady come up to me. She's like, I was so depressed after this. I text my family to tell them how much I love them. And she said, but it's a good thing because it made me think about the things that I need to do. So there are good things. Students who were had access to social and emotional learning from this study, there's a link in this study, so I can add that link to your notes. Their academic performance increased by 11 percentile points because they had those skills to navigate the different challenges. If there's any admin in the room, I will tell you that the research also showed that for every dollar invested in social and emotional learning, it saves $11 for every dollar that would have been spent on interventions, remediation, dropout prevention, etc. And if you want to dive into this research, you can go to Castle's website and really get into this research. So benefits. Students who, so this is another study, students who were engaged in social and emotional learning in kindergarten, they were more likely to graduate from high school, complete a college degree, obtain stable employment in adulthood, which is what we want, and less likely to live in public housing, receive public assistance involved with police or in detention facilities. SEL benefits adults too. So teachers with high levels of social competence are better able to protect themselves from burnout and are more likely to stay in the classroom longer. So that's really powerful because we need our teachers. It's so scary to see how many teachers are leaving. And also what some districts are doing to bring in new people, right? So we want the teachers who are invested in what they're doing to stay. And social emotional learning begins with the adults. We can't address our students' social and emotional learning needs until we have addressed our own. So what is the demand for social emotional learning skills? So this report from McKinsey, they connected with 18,000 companies across 15 different countries and asked them what skills they want in students. And a lot of the skills we're related to or aligned to social and emotional learning skills. And you can see that the interpersonal, the self-leadership, and you can see self-control and self-regulation, self-confidence, self-motivation. So we can build the confidence of our students through helping them develop these self-management skills. Employers, some of the biggest employers, these are the skills they're looking for. Google, Allstate, the Wall Street Journal. These are the priorities for them. Communicating, having empathy, leadership, conflict resolution, and that's all in the social and emotional learning that CASEL represents. 76% of high schoolers say they want to attend a school that prioritizes SEL. To me, that's pretty powerful. And then teachers value SEL. So in 2013, teachers said they want a greater focus on social emotional skills in schools. Teachers cite positive effects from social emotional development. And more recently, teachers were devoting more time to building SEL skills compared to 5 years ago. So how to get started? So step one, so we're talking about self-management today. So explain to staff and students what self-management is and why it's important. Okay, so self-management isn't just about regulating our emotions, it's about regulating our emotions, regulating ourselves so we can set and reach goals. So getting started, decide in the day where you can implement. So and I'm going to share some strategies with you. Is it at the beginning of the day? Is it weaved in during some academics? Is it at the end of the day? And CASEL has something called the 3 signature practices. And I'll just briefly share with you what that is. So this, step 3 is then implement some of those self-management skills. And I guarantee you are doing some of these things already. So CASEL's 3 signature practices, 1 is a welcoming ritual, 2 to 10 minutes. But whatever you do, we need to keep it consistent, right? So building that consistency, building the strengths, the confidence of our students, and then building on upon that. So we don't want to, throw all of this to our students at once. First of all, it's going to burn you out and our students as well. So deciding on where we can start, engaging practices. So I'm going to build some of these engaging practices, the things that I'm doing with you. So that peaceful place, that was a welcoming ritual. Engaging practices, optimistic closure. So those are the 3 things. So right now, this is an engaging practice. Okay, this is an engaging practice that you can use with your students. Pause, think, and share. So from what we discussed so far, what stands out to you the most? And you can share that in the chat. What sticks out to you? Yes. I hear all of you. Peaceful place, the money saved. Finding the time. Yes. So I know you all are, I know you're overwhelmed and you have a lot of this, you have to meet the needs of all your students. But think about what is one thing you can implement to help build those skills with our students. And I guarantee, like I said, you may not think that you're doing some of this right now, but I guarantee that you are. Our students, if we do not address their social and emotional learning skills, their social and emotional learning right now, like I said, they're not going to be engaged academically, because we all know what Maslow's, right? So Maslow before Bloom. We've heard that, and it's very true. And I would say starting with the adults first. And there's little activities. Yes, I'm loving that I'm seeing peaceful place activity. Having something that is maybe something that's recorded. There's lots of things that you can find online, meditations that you can introduce your students to. So think about some of those kind of things that maybe you can put on there. I don't know if you use Google Classroom or something, but just introducing them to those things. All right, loving. Okay, so let's move forward. Thank you all for your honesty. And I would love for you to be able to walk away with one thing you can use today. And don't be hard on yourself that, I know you're overwhelmed. Again, I'm married to a high school principal. He just presented right previously. He's overwhelmed. I know the struggles. I'm not close to it as you are, obviously, but I would love for you to be able to take one thing away today. Okay, self-management in the classroom. So here we have, so I'm on Twitter a lot, and I pull pictures from teachers actually doing things in their classrooms because I want you to see that it's happening. So mindful moments. So you can see this teacher just has something presented where they're doing, she's not really doing anything, but maybe she's taking 5 minutes to really let students find a mindful moment, just like the peaceful place, right? That's something that they can go back to if it helped them. All right. Processing and regulating emotions. This teacher has a safe space in her classroom where students can go to if they need to. Maybe there's, like I said, maybe there's a recording that they can go to, or maybe there's just, a fidgets there or something that they can go to there. So I have this student self-management worksheet that I can share with you too. I'm actually going to put this in the chat because I did not put it in the note catcher. So this is, talking to our students about, okay, self-management ideas for me. Before I erupt, I can, and here are some things that, that you can share with them that you might have available in your classroom. Or maybe you all talk together and say, what are some things that will be helpful for you before you erupt? And then have them create their own little sheet here that they can use, their self-management worksheet. All right. Again, this is going back to having students manage their emotions. And I have a blog post that I put in the note catcher. So again, this is having our students come up with ways that they can manage their emotions. So one way, maybe you just have like a little bit of time that you can dedicate to having students brainstorming together. Or maybe you have a gallery walk. I love gallery walks. Maybe you have some posters set up in your room where students go around and say, this works for me. Then they can walk around and see what works for other students and say, hey, I'm going to try that. That might work for me. And then maybe make a poster and put it up in your room to remind students that I can take 3 deep breaths, write down my thoughts, talk to my teacher, move away from someone who is distracting me. All right, so mindfulness activities. If you have boys in your classroom that you're worried like, oh, they might not think this is, this is something that's cool to do, right? They might think they're too cool to do something like this. This is LeBron James, and you can share this. This is on YouTube. I'll just share this with you. Oops.
Just played the entire game. We would have played the entire game in game 6 if it wasn't a blowout.
So that's in 2011 when LeBron James was playing for the Miami Heat. He's a big,
This is the last time out. He has played the entire game.
he's a big advocate for meditation, and he has a partnership with the Calm app. So the Calm app it was during the pandemic free to all educators, and I think he has some meditations on there. But this is what he said. It gives him a sense of calm, rational decision-making, ability to perform and persevere under pressure.
Like LeBron meditating there on the bench.
He's in that,
Becoming present.
he's in that.
So show this to the boys in your classrooms. Look, he's literally meditating in front of millions of people because he knows it works for him. So what are some other ways? Recognizing and naming emotions. There's a lot of research around if I can recognize and name my emotions, I don't have to be that. So think about when we're driving and we're in traffic and we're really frustrated. Like that used to happen to me a lot driving in Columbus, Ohio, in the traffic. People in Columbus, Ohio don't know how to drive when it's raining. I used to get just so frustrated. But if I can name that emotion, right? I can say, okay, you're frustrated. You don't need to be that frustrated. There's nothing you can do about this. But sometimes our students, especially the ones who have been through traumatic events, they don't have the words. They keep it down inside because they don't really have the words to say what they're feeling. There's something called the feelings wheel. I put a link to it in the notes, but you can print this out and put it in your room, put it in your calm spot, right? So students, these are the main feelings we can identify and name, right? So maybe if we have a student coming in clearly upset, we can say, what is wrong? I'm angry. What happened? Why are you angry? Well, I'm, my friends, well, maybe you're feeling let down. What happened? Well, they were sitting together on lunch and they didn't invite me. So maybe you're feeling betrayed. So helping them build that skill around, okay, this is the way you're feeling. Let's talk about some ways you can help with that feeling. All right. Let's see, go here. So one way that we can help students manage their selves, again, so that meditation and things like that I was just discussing is around managing our emotions. So now in the classroom, we can talk about what are some ways that we can integrate into the academics where it doesn't feel like another thing, that we can help our students feel confident, manage their selves. What if we use a playlist? Has anybody in here ever used a playlist or a choice board. So I'll share with you, and I put links to templates in here. So the playlist this is something that you can use to list all of the activities that your students need to do for the week or day, and giving them some choice, right? You can easily differentiate with something like this, giving them some kind of control over what they're doing, helps with confidence, helps with self-management. Here's a choice board. So I linked this in there as well. So you can change this all up. You can have this and edit it to meet your needs. So this helps them really. It also helps you. So you can use this to give your students choices without feeling like, okay, this student needs this student needs that. So giving choice doesn't mean a free-for-all. It might mean in this playlist, for example, choose between writing something or listening to something, right? So again, there's an example in there. You can use it. You can edit it to make it yours. And I think this is in your note catcher. So all of these links are in your note catcher. All right. So that's the choice board and the playlist. So what are some other things that we can do? Co-create clear self-management expectations. Again, using the playlist, goal setting and progress monitoring, and the WHOOP method, which I'm going to show you what those are. Okay, this, and I put a link to, this helps students set goals where they can think about, okay, what is a goal I want to set? What is something I wish? So this takes the place of SMART goals, which can be sometimes overwhelming. Okay, I will change that, Teresa, the goal setting and reflection. What is a wish? So here's an example: get an A on my biology quiz. What is the best result? What is the outcome? I'll feel proud. What are some obstacles that get in my way? So these are the challenges that I'm talking about that our students can't manage. They have problems getting through these challenges. First of all, they probably don't recognize what their challenges are, right? Maybe they do. Maybe we can help them. I procrastinate. I procrastinate too. I'm a procrastinator. So let's make a plan for getting around that procrastination. So when can you study for your biology? After dinner. Then I will make 5 flashcards. So helping them set those really practical goals, right? So it's really simple. This is something that, you can set with your students maybe at the beginning of the day. Maybe this is a beginning of a day activity. This is a self-management activity that you can do at the beginning of the day. What are the goals for today? What do you want? What is the outcome? What do you want to happen this week? Maybe it's a weekly goal. So these two, I will give you access to those. So my weekly goals. Again, this is something that could be done every Monday or every Friday. Let's say Friday, right? What are your goals for next week? Is it academic? Is it personal? Is it behavioral? Is it social? Why is this goal important to you? And I'll set these links to be so you can access and edit the forms yourself. What are some steps you'll take? What are supports that you need? Okay, so now great, we've done that. And maybe, this is a way to get started. These are self-management. These are social emotional learning skills that you're developing with your students. So then your goal reflection sheet. It's important. We have to have our students reflecting. I reached my goal. I did. Not yet. Why or why didn't you? What are my next steps? So just helping them think about, what got in your way. So maybe we go back to, I don't see it, the whoop, right? WOOP. And say, what got in your way? How can we go about this again? A student progress monitoring. So I think I put a link in here to this. So this is, and I will check the permissions. So I won't give you a new link, but I'll check the permissions and all you have to do is refresh. So this is, you can edit this however you want. So this could be for a whole class, for students to see, where they are. These are the different lessons. A student unit tracker. It could be a weekly tracker. So what is my status? And it doesn't have to say mastered or on pace or behind. It can be, however you want to change that up. So a student daily tracker. So lesson 1, maybe it's, I completed this activity. I need help with this activity. So something to help them keep track themselves. Yes, I will put this note catcher back in the chat. So everyone can see this. So again, these are things like helping your students set goals. These are things that you're probably already doing. And if not, think about how you can do it weekly. Or maybe you just want to start out daily at the beginning of class, giving that WOOP sheet and just, seeing where it goes and then helping them think through that a little bit more. Let's go back here. All right, I want to show you this quick video, planning and organizing. So this is a self-management skill, and helping students prioritize lists or things they have to do. I'm going to show you this video. So hopefully you all can hear it. Please let me know if you can't.
There are certain foundational skills like executive function, self-regulation, that are prerequisites for the formation of more complex skills like perseverance and self-direction. A child can become a productive and engaged learner from any developmental starting point, as long as we intentionally build those skills.
Any volunteers? Go up and do a priority list. Abdi, thank you.
The most active research right now is actually about adolescence. There are skills that develop uniquely in adolescence that can't develop in earlier periods. An example of one of those is executive function skills, which enable us to organize and prioritize. All right. By asking students to prioritize their tasks, the teacher builds that skill set in an entire classroom.
In 8th grade, there's a ton of different deadlines and work to manage. So we do the ABC priority list in order to help them manage all those different deadlines.
Somebody always goes up to start a priority list. It helps us categorize everything that we have and organize from most important to least important.
We have the West Virginia versus Barnard case questions for social studies.
What does that do?
Today.
So that's a high priority.
We have a practice clause that we need to do for science class.
They tell me each assignment and when it's due or how important it is.
We have the dryas observation for science.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
They share out all the different deadlines that are roaming around in their head, and then they know how to go through the protocol of prioritizing.
Can you help Abdi to figure out what the A1 is?
Dryas observation.
I think so, because it's overdue, right? So if it's overdue, you gotta get that done first. And then what would be in A2?
The West Virginia versus Barnard questions.
It wasn't a teacher saying you should. It was a student saying, here's what I think are the ways in which these activities should be prioritized. So in effect, what this teacher was doing was modeling and teaching executive function skills.
If you're kind of overwhelmed by your work, then you can kind of like know what to do first and then just kind of like categorize it and get it done efficiently.
Okay, so which one of those things is probably going to be your frog?
Mark Twain said, if you wake up every morning and eat a frog, everything else will taste great. So I taught them to take their frog from the list, which is the thing they want to do the least, and get it out of the way, because everything else will seem easy.
A frog is like the most important assignment, like the one I'm really worried about.
Dry ice. So, okay, you got to do that. What's your frog?
It helps me like realize I need to get this done faster than I need to get this done. So even though this is more fun, I need to get this out of the way before I can do this.
So as soon as we're done with that priority list, I notice everyone gets right to work because they have it spelled out very clearly for them.
This is the building of executive function skills in kids.
All right, so that's another activity that you can implement with self-management. So I hope that with what we've talked about today is really helping you think through what is self-management and what it isn't. So again, it's not about therapy. It's about helping our students build the skills that we need them to be successful in our classrooms and outside of the classroom, right? Skills that we need as adults. So I'm updating the links to the forms, to the goal reflection sheets. So after this session, just hit refresh on them and they should work. One thing I would love to know before we end is thinking about one takeaway that you're going to try. So thinking about the things that were shared today, what is one takeaway you want to try? You don't have to say why, just tell me what you want to try. And a takeaway can be an idea, a strategy, a tool, or an action step. Maybe an action step is digging into these resources a bit more to see how you might implement, or an action step could be, I want to try a meditation